All right, welcome back to the channel. So the next video I'm going to be uploading is on how I create digital media arts drawing on my iPad. And I also want to focus on Procreate, which is one of the mobile apps that I use for drawing. I have it right here, and I love this program because it has so many selections of, pens and paintbrushes and all kinds of media that you could ask for. It's just amazing. So what you do with an iPad is download Procreate, and no, I'm not sponsored, okay? Also, I have Adobe Creative Suite as an educator, and so that is also downloaded on here because now you can use Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop on your iPad with limited, kinds of things, not as equal as what you will get on, say, a desktop. So I wanted to just say also that you can use an iPad mini or a regular iPad. I believe it's, I don't know, was it 6x9? I'm not sure. And then the iPad Pro. I have both. So actually I have three. And I use my iPad mini most of all because it slips into my backpack or my carry-on or my purse quite easily, and the iPad Pro is just so big. It's as big as my laptop, which is a MacBook Pro, an older one. And let me tell you, you could invest in newer technology like the upgraded iPads, iPhones, laptops, MacBook Pros, or just a regular iMacBook. It's up to you. I'm using old technology, and as long as the software is working on it, I'm fine with that. I have the old Apple phone pencil, and I have the older model of iPads, and I have an older model iPhone and older model iWatch. Why change and upgrade every year? It's just, to me, I think it's a waste of technology, as long as you can use the tools and make money out of it, right? So I have to connect the iPad with the Apple Pencil. Sorry, I'm lost of words. And so I do that by going into the tools and then scrolling down on the left here and look for Apple Pencil. Once you find the Apple Pencil, you will see how much percentage it has on the top. And right now I'm at 15%, which is fine because, I'm not going to be using 100% right now. This is just going to be a couple of minutes long. But you can control that by using the tools, scrolling down to Apple Pencil and looking at your Apple Pencil percentage, and after that, disconnect it and then use it to scroll rather than your finger. At the schools, we didn't have Apple Pencils, so we just used our fingers, which is just fine as well, tactile. So I'm gonna open up again Procreate and then press plus on the very top right, and you're gonna use a new canvas, and you should have like different measurements here. You could use pixels, you could use inches, millimeters. So we're gonna go ahead and use a regular 8.5 by 11 because that's what I normally use on my computer. I normally print artwork on that size, and I print on that size because that's all I have. I don't have a large scale printer like some other business can afford that. I just simply print off of 8.5 by 11 and then put it on a t-shirt. And then if I do print something larger, then I'll source it out and then have them print it out on the the paper that is for hot press. So anyways, working with your canvas on 8.5 by 11, and then you're gonna pick out on the gallery here, right? You're gonna see all of the artwork that you didn't pass. And then you're going to look on the top tools. You have a wrench, which has all of the different actions, and you could insert a file, insert a photo, take a photo, add text, cut, copy, copy, canvas. And then on the very top here, you could share it. You could video this and replay it. And yeah, and add another canvas. So that's the tools. This one here is adjustments, color balance, curves, gradient maps, Gaussian blur, motion blur, perspective blur, noise, sharpen, bloom, glitch, halftone, chromatic aberration, liquefy, and clone. You could try those out yourself, but I use this tool here if I wanted to move a piece of an object, like say the leg, and I want to move it up, or the eyebrow, move it up. I'll use this tool right here, which is it takes the freehand, the piece of object that you want to, you know, adjust. Then one next to it is taking that object and, you know, expanding on it. So that one is also freeform, distort, warp, and snapping. You could flip it horizontally or flip vertically or rotate 45 degrees so that object would become, you know, manipulated in that way. You could warp it, fit to canvas. You could, I don't know what this one is, interpolation, bilinear, bicubic, and quite honestly, I don't even use any of those. I am definitely, look at that. Before I even, so I want to delete this. How do I, my goodness. Okay. Let's go back to the gallery and see that one. I'm going to select that one and delete it. Delete, gone. So now I'm going to create a new one, plus in my templates here, 8.5 by 11. So those are the tools up there. On the right hand, beside the arrow, you're going to use these automatically. These tools like the paintbrush, smudge, eraser, copy and paste, or layers, sorry, copy and paste, layers, then you're gonna use those, and also the color. On this side of the tools here, this is your brush sizes. So if you wanna go broad brush or broad pencil scale, you could use that to increase or decrease. On this one here is the opacity, which makes the color see-through, transparent, or opaque. Like you can't see through it. Okay, and then you've got the rewind buttons and forward buttons on the bottom there. So in reality, that's what it is. Okay, so I'm gonna just use a paintbrush, which is, you could click on the paintbrush and look at all of the different paint tips or sketching tools, or sorry, marker tools. I mean, there is just a gamut of all kinds of choices, which I'm like, it's like having so many art tools right spread on a table, and you could pick and choose whatever size paintbrush or whatever size pencil tool or pen, marker, charcoals, spray paints, air paint, what do you call it? Oh my goodness, there's so many. Organic, you can use patterns that are already in there. You can use elements, which are, you know, like tree patterns, or textures, artistic calligraphy. So I'm just going to use a basic Inca paintbrush, and I'm using red right now, but I'm going to change the color to black, which is normally already preset in there. Or you can change or make your own swatches down there. So let's just say that you have, I love this color right here, and you want to put that color down here. All you got to do is go into the little 3 dots here and rename it, or just click on it and then rename it. And I'll just put Dr. Z's palette. Dr. Z palette. Color that is in the little color wheel right there. You're going to click it. And then you're just going to tap on your color palette anywhere on that little box, and it's going to save that color, okay? So let's just say, okay, I made a mistake. I don't like that color, but I want to include the whole canvas as that color. I'll just simply take that color and drag it to, and that's what happens to your whole canvas. Or if I don't like that color, I want to delete it. It says delete the swatch. You're going to hold down until a little trash box comes. And that's how you create your color. Isn't that cool? I mean, and then if you don't like it, you change your mind, you just click the rewind button on the bottom here and it becomes a white canvas again. So those are the basics and of Procreate. And if I went too fast, just rewind and play around with it. You learn so much by just using and sampling and trying it out. It's not that difficult. Don't be afraid of technology. Use technology and test it out. Don't be afraid to just play around with it. You learn by mistakes. Failure is, failure happens. Don't worry. Frustration, yeah, it just motivates you to do better. If I failed when I got an F, I would have just been like an accountant or something instead of an artist. But just keep going. We're gonna go ahead and learn more. I'm gonna turn the camera around, and the next segment is going to be on this part, a quick tutorial on using Procreate and a little review and rewind, and then I'll, make something using Procreate and my anime character from drawing on pencil and paper to digital media arts. All right, everyone. Okay, and 3, 2, 1, let's go ahead and create. I'll show you my frustrations, but I think I did pretty good for, getting back on track. But I drew this character right here. It's themed after my characters on this one. And I did it as a drawing with pencil and paper, this one. And I like that version. But using this is so hard. I don't know. Maybe I have to just keep practicing. But there's a time lapse, and yeah. I started off with basic, shapes and guidelines, and then basically with error and trial and error, I just kept going, and my hand just kind of like, maybe it's just me and my anatomy, but I felt like forced, really hard, and I really have to practice. Again, not all of us professionals we could do everything. I mean, we do have our faults and things like that, but creating this way for me, I have to practice. My hand has to get used to it, but I'm more used to pencil and paper. So anyways, I'm going to get going and upload this video and edit it, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Okay, so welcome back. Okay, I am definitely going to share how I create my cartoon characters from regular pencil and paper to digital media arts. But let's try the tablet. Let's try the iPad. This was created with a sketching tool, and I'll show you how it looks very similar when you use an Apple Pencil and transform it into something like this, but more of utilizing the iPad. Now, an iPad is a tool. It's an accessory. It's it's something that it's an extension of all our senses. It's used for visuals, it's used for sound, it's used for touch, believe it or not, because you can actually smudge. You feel the coldness of the glass. You could tap. And it's just, for me, I really love it because I could take this around and I have all my tools here. Multiple types of brush libraries, sketching, inking, drawing, calligraphy, painting, artistic, airbrushing, textures, abstract, charcoals, elements, spray paints, materials, vintage, luminance, industrial, organic, and water. So I'm just going to use the basic sketching tool, which is at the top here, peppermint. And here you can, you can change the size of your tip. So, you just have to, oh, this is white. Change the color to something dark because it is a white background. But again, you can, here on the right hand side, you can change the size of the tip. And right here, you can change the opacity, which is if it's see-through or opaque. Let's just show you the different, you can barely see that's at 0. Then you go up to increments of 1 to 16 to 60 to straight up, 100%. So those are the sizes of the tips, and I'm using the most thicker one of the tips. So what I did was I basically used a pencil and a ruler on this one, and I'm gonna just create the vertical and the horizontal line because again we are creating my character from digital media arts. Again, it's mimicking the pencil and paper technique on a iPad, on a tool. So basically I'm going to see if I can magnify this and show you. And again, this is an 8.5 by 11, so we're just going to draw, actually make it a lot lighter. I don't know if you can see that. That is a very light vertical and horizontal line there. So again, I'm going to draw the circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. I hope you can see that. I think you can. Okay. I go all the way up with opacity. And then again, we're going to draw the circles. And I like to look at the model of object of what we are trying to create here. This cartoon character that I created. And I'm going to do the 3/4 turn this time because we just did the straight up view, straightforward. Okay, so what we're gonna do is erase the straight up lines and make it curved. So we're going to, so you can see it, curve the line like so. But I'm gonna show you basically, if you do the curve, it's gonna look very similar to this. If you're gonna make it this way, go up like this. Then if you're gonna make it look up, then you'd curve it like this, and then you'd curve it down. Same kind of reference here, as you can see. But we're gonna draw a circle and then draw the vertical lines curved. So I'm gonna do it like this. And it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? So she's looking towards, she made a 3/4 turn this way and then looking slightly down. So if you want the character to look a certain angle, then you just curve it. And if you want it to go even more, let's just, erase this one. and that one was here, and you want it to curve more, then you go slightly closer to the edge of the circle. Okay, the more you go to the edge, the more of the turn, like so. And then this would be the nose in the center. Okay, and then the eyes would follow on each side of the nose, like so. Okay, so we're gonna do it this way. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're gonna erase and perfect, erase and perfect. Okay, so I always start off with like how far apart I want the eyes. I'm just gonna go slightly this way and then slightly smaller here. So the hemisphere is smaller here, and this one is a lot larger. So we can see that this is gonna be magnified. So I'm just gonna draw, and I'm gonna put the difference of the eyes, that measurement right there, and then I'm gonna just draw the eyes. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This one is going to be a lot smaller. Okay. And now I'm going to just draw in the rest of the eyes, like so. I start off with the eyelid. Okay. And then I'm going to draw the outer portion of the eye. And then I'm going to draw the eyelid, just, you know, just eyeball it. Then I'm going to draw the eyebrows. And then this is where I start incorporating the face. And I go around the circle as my template. Somewhere here I'll find the point of the chin. That. And notice I do like a lot of sketching, a lot of like hash marks like that, because I know that eventually one of these lines are going to be the line, the solid line. And then over here I know that somewhere over here is going to be the ear, so this is where I also measure it, and the jawline. So I'll go like this, and then I'll complete it like that. And I know somewhere over here is going to be the ear, so I'll make a C, like a cat. And then I will continue the jawline from the ear to the chin over here. So you just got to eyeball it. Okay. Now this is where I'm going to join the nose. So over here, that's where the bridge is, right about here. I'm just going to make a slanted line. And then I'm just going to air draw it, not really drawing a line, but I'm just going to hover above and then find where I want to put that tip of the nose. And it's going to be like a slight J. If I want it smaller, I'll just, you know, small nose like that, really faint. And now I'm going to draw the mouth, and it's going to be just anywhere down here that you see fit. Just a little curve right there. Okay, now this is where I'm going to add the hairline, and I want to make the hairline about here. And I'm going to do like a point, like a V. And then I'm just going to follow it up and then join it here at the corner of the ear. Here I'm going to go slightly lower and then follow it down here. This is where you're going to take your eraser. This is where you're going to take your eraser. I was right here where it's blue, and now I touch here for the eraser. And I'm going to make the eraser smaller so I can start erasing those guidelines and the circle itself. Okay. You don't have any eraser crumbs. Okay, so this is where I'm going to go back to my paintbrush, and then I'm going to start defining my character. Okay, I'm going to have the eyeball, erase this eyeball and have it look towards me. So now it's a blank slate. And I'm going to make the circle this way. And then color it in. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're just going to erase and perfect, erase and perfect. Okay. This too, erase this. And slightly go at the corner of the eye here. All right, now we're going to start defining the face. So, and again, it's not like paper. You're just gonna end up getting used to it. Sometimes people can, you know, they do a lot and it's like, my hand hurts, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, this feeling of carpal tunnel, or just, you know, you just got to get your hand used to working in this type of media, because your hand is not used to holding the pencil and putting the slightest pressure. It just, you know, the anatomy of your hand is, it's not used to it. I'm used to more resistance, where this is more gliding, even though there's like a film to mimic paper. It just isn't the same. But I'm just gonna show you, you know, what you can do. So again, we have the eyelash here, and it comes up, and then right here, and then here we're gonna come down. Uh-oh, 5%. I'm now working on time. I'll pause and I'll have to recharge. But I'm trying to work with a tutorial and also doing work on my cartoon character. So it's kind of like, you guys are on my time schedule. Well, that was not okay. And I just have to get used to this. I'm just, you know, my hands are just more mouse controlled. And even a professional artist gets frustrated, right? And yeah, I get frustrated too. All right, so then and I start erasing. Okay, and I can use the smudge tool. Okay, if I really wanted to smudge, I'd use this smudge tool. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's a little much, so I need to make it a little bit more And I can even use my hand, my finger. See, that's the beauty of it, that you're using your finger. But I gotta move in like so. I gotta really... See, it just kind of, it's just so amazing. The pencil and your finger, you're just, it's like you're mimicking paper. It's just so amazing, you know? Okay, and then this one. I'm smudging. The more smudge, the more smudge. And then you just kind of like darken it again and then smudge again. Smudge. And you just go in between each tool. If I don't like that, I'll erase it and start all over again. Right. And smudge right here under the nose. Okay. And then I'm gonna smudge right here. Right here. Erase and smudge. Erase and smudge. Okay, now we're gonna go and let's look at a different other tools here. Let's do the 6B pencil. Oh, I like 6B pencil. That's nice. That's nice. I really like that. Okay, I'm going to swiftly go ahead and, okay, make my neck. I'm gonna make a really smaller neck here. Let's see what it looks like smudge. Ooh, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. That smudges a lot. That smudges a lot, folks. I don't like that. 6B pencil. And the chin is a little... yeah, I don't know. I haven't drawn in a while on Procreate, and I'm already like, I don't know about this, folks. All right. And some of you are just like, what are you talking about? I can't even do that. You know what? I can't even do that. I'm like, yes, you can. You just try. I know it's hard. And, you know, people are like, God, I can't even do that. My hands just hurt, or my hands, I don't have any control. This takes time. And I'm not kidding. Even me. Okay, 6B I like 6B. I like it. Because I don't have to put too much pressure. I know I have to fix the eyelashes, but just showing you how I do it. Okay, I really don't like this neck here. Nope. Okay, so now we're gonna do the hair. I see that her eye here is kind of cut off. And this one is kind of cut off. Let's polish it a little bit more. I'm gonna go higher, folks. So I want that eyeball to be fully darkened. All right, now all right, let's do the reference again. Okay, this is where I can zoom in and really focus close up. Eraser. And hone in. I'm gonna hone in. Eraser. 10 o'clock a.m. Oh no, oh no. Well, you know, this is just a rough draft anyway, so okay, so now let's look at her hairline here and do some adjustments. All right, looks like this is gonna come down here. I'm looking at my reference point here. Okay, and no, even I'm like, oh my goodness, girl. Okay, I'm just erasing. See, I'm just, sometimes I draw it and I'm like not satisfied, right? I am not satisfied with that. And you can see how some things become frustrating, you know. You just kind of like, oh, that doesn't look good. Oh, that doesn't look good. That does not look good. That does not look good. Ugh. Even I get frustrated. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? You know, you're just like, girl, what are you doing? That's why I like vectors. I'm not very much a good drawer. So much vector artwork is my forte. But I'm trying here. I want to get the best hair. I'm not doing it right. I don't like this eyebrow. It's a little bit too slanty. And I know that, you know, her face is going to get cut off because of her hair. Oh, it's my dog. I'm so sorry. He's guarding. Guardian. Okay, so... Why did I do that? I was supposed to erase. I'm getting really... frustrated. My dog is getting really frustrated. It's so funny. I don't like that part. This is where the music comes in. Frustration music. And here again. See, that's I'm using a Apple Pencil, and so I'm like confused. Yeah, you guys who use Procreate, I give you props, because I'm just like, ugh. Okay, so basically, Alexa, stop. Yeah, just, almost there, folks. But again, this is gonna take like hours and hours and hours, which we don't have. But that's just the feel of it. You just got to get used to it. Even I'm like complaining about it. I'm like complaining about it. I'm not so good at this. Some of you are, but it's and some of you are like, oh my God, I don't know what you're talking about. Look at what you just created within a few minutes. I just get really frustrated at myself. Sometimes I like you, I get frustrated, and I'm like, okay, I don't think I could do this medium. And it's up to you on what you like the best. Some of you might like it, and some of you might not like it, and some of you are like, hey, I don't know what you're talking about, Dr. Zhivago. Maybe you just you're just not good at Procreate. And I agree. I'm just such a perfectionist, and my hand is like totally trying so hard to do tablet drawing. I'm just like, oh, I don't know, and this neck is just bothering me. I'm sorry. I can see it. Like, ugh. Her neck is just not right. This hair is bothering me. Anyways, that is my experience with drawing on Procreate, and I'm not very good at it. Some of you are just like, what are you talking about? I can't even do that. Yeah, I'm OCD about myself. That's why I like vectors. And you're going to say, okay, I like this. I really do. I really like vectors, and then stick with it. And then you'll create your artwork and sell it. And, you're going to you're gonna love it. I don't. I'm sorry. That's just, you know, some people do use Procreate and they draw and they make their stickers, and I'm just like, wow. Oh my gosh, I wish I could do that. But to me, I like vectors. I don't even like this, what I just did. Anyways, I will see you in the next upload. And again, if you like this and you totally see my frustration, and I am a creative, but I like vectors and I'll use this. What I really like to do is use pencil and paper, you know, and then draw it out. But as far as tablets and things like that, no, I can't. It just hurts my hand. I guess maybe because I'm older. I'm not sure. Maybe because I'm just not used to it. I'm old school, and I like traditional, you know, and I'm just more of a traditional sketcher, and I'm trying my best, but you know, I guess I did okay. Let's rewind it. All right. Oops. Let's rewind it. Play the video and time lapse. So I erased all these other things, and I started off with the guidelines, and then basically, yeah, that's how it came out. I'm really happy with the results, even though I'm not very good at using Procreate on an iPad. And yeah, I'm not really good at hair, but I did it, and voila, there she is. I'm satisfied with it. I'm satisfied, but I could do a lot better. All right, everyone, I hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next upload. I'll see you soon. Stay tuned, neighbors. Bye-bye.